Have you imagined how much of a worse or a better trader you can actually become if you let AI like ChatGPT actually analyze and help you get more information regarding your trading strategy? Well, I actually tried it out, and guess what? The result was really amazing. Like, I was wishing that why haven't I done this all these years? So if you're a trader out there who actually have a strategy, however, you still don't have enough confidence in your strategy, or you still need more information on how exactly you can actually make that strategy work, then I want to watch this video to the very end. Because in this video, I'm going to share with you a step-by-step approach on how I actually use AIs such as ChatGPT to actually improve my trading strategy. Now you are wondering how exactly was this possible? Exactly, that's it I'm going to share with you in today's video. So guys, as you all know, I basically trade the liquidity supply and demand trading strategy. And I've been trading this strategy over the years, and that's been delivering good results. However, one thing most of you didn't notice was that there was a little change in the strategy when I'm trading it in my recent videos. And luckily, none of you have actually identified it. I don't know if you found out, but you didn't let me know that in the comment section. So basically, here's the actual strategy I trade, which is my liquidity supply and demand trading strategy. Now, here's a setup on a 4-hour time frame on GBP USD. Now, if you take a look at this setup clearly, we can see clearly that what here is the demand. Here is my demand level, which I'm looking forward to buy from. So actually, the demand level is up to the top of this candle here. However, I minimize it downward because when I went that to a much lower time frame, I saw that there was a lower time frame level there, so I had to go with the lower time frame level to also lower my lot size. So now how I basically trade this strategy is simple. The first thing I do is that I identify the market direction. So in this case, let me take a really fresh market to do the analytics. So here GBP, GBP card. So how I basically do is simply I take up a fresh market like this, and then the first thing I do look for is basically I look at the 4-hour time frame, trying to see which direction the market is trading to. Now looking at these markets, I could clearly see that there was a market shift to the downside here, and they're followed by a break of structure to the downside. Now, the moment I confirm this on a 4-hour time frame, I basically know that okay, currently this market is on a downtrend. So the next thing I look for is simply my demand or supply levels depending on the direction. So in this case, the market was on a downtrend, so I was basically looking for supply levels. So over here now, let me just mark it off here. So looking at this became my supply level, and then here becomes my liquidity level. However, despite getting this strategy so much this clear and very easy and vivid, something was actually missing in it. AI was actually able to help me resolve this thing that was wrong with the strategy. Here is a full breakdown on how you can also use this to improve your own trading strategy as well. Now, when I do the setup like this with this strategy, the next thing is basically I set my entry here. So here becomes my entry. Okay, let me get that off. So usually once I have it set up like this, since I'm selling, here becomes my entry, and then I have this area as my stop loss, and then way down here as my take profit, targeting this other low here. However, I will take my take profit at a 1:3 if I see that the market is trying to move for me. So now here's basically how we are going to use ChatGPT to actually improve our trading strategy. Now the first thing I did was basically I come over here and I took a screenshot of the strategy. I also took a screenshot of it like this. I'll just take a screenshot of a full setup like this, very clear and vivid. Now I come over here, then I'll paste it onto ChatGPT. Now I'll show this strategy to ChatGPT. Then I'll type out every single information that I personally use to train this strategy, so that ChatGPT will know that okay, this is what I want to do to train this strategy. So it should help me debug anything that is actually causing this error that I've been realizing in this strategy recently. Now basically you type this and then you send it to ChatGPT. Now the next thing you need to do is simply basically sit back, and then ChatGPT is going to go through your whole strategy, look at the screenshot, the information you gave it, and it's going to tell you the weakness of this strategy, and then from there we actually proceed to the next stage. Now here's, according to ChatGPT, here is the information that starts noticed from it. Say where the weakness lies. Thin move imbalance between 1.600.1.5, 1.8510. Now you basically come and look at the setup. So basically, according to ChatGPT, there's an imbalance movement between a particular level. Let's take a look at it again. Between 1.6, 1.86 and then 1.8510. So here's 1.86. Okay, so there's an imbalance movement within this point, and I believe here the level is the area is referring to. This is where the so-called imbalance movement might be within this level. Okay, let's take a look at the next. See the equal high liquidity in this met retail breakout traders who have stops only a few pips above that line. A manipulation will sweeping those highs into your supplies and provide the ideal 30-minute confirmation candle rejection week plus body. Now over here, here's the strength of the strategy. You see the area of markers or liquidity level. ChatGPT has already seen in that, okay, here's an area where a lot of retail traders will actually try to set up their stop loss, which means that the market is going to swim this level and the trigger our point, which is at this level. Now we have one weakness and one strength. So let me get back there. Say unmitigated 30-minute order block inside supply. When you drill to the 30 minutes, you see that the last bullish candle before the 4-hour sell-off is open. It's at this. That is a precise false institution have sell orders. So basically, go to ChatGPT. If we go over to the 30-minute time frame, there will be another candle in here where most institutions will actually take their orders. And let's take a look at it. Well, that was really true. You can see it here. Here's a 30-minute level around here. According to ChatGPT, you can see here's the last bullish candle right here. So which means ChatGPT was 100% right, and this is the point whereby most institutions will take their orders, which basically means that what this market is actually going to trigger this level, but then it will not go deep in it to get to this level and then start selling off, and that's whereby our 30-minute confirmation will actually come out. Descending volume. Okay, the last 3-4 hour candles made lower lows, but the bodies are getting smaller. That often proceeds a distribution rally back into the nearest supply to feed others, giving it a pullback. Now here's another strength of our strategy again. We can clearly see that what on the 4-hour time frame, the candles are becoming weaker. You can see they are becoming weaker, so which basically means that what there's a high possibility that this market is going to pull back and they come to a level. Now next is untouched demand at 1.82. This is the first clean 4-hour demand block that caused a rally 18 June, liquidity below the current low, which is 1.8380. Now, according to ChatGPT here, there is a demand level right below here. So let's take a look at it. And that was true. Here's a level right here. There's a demand level right here. Well, ChatGPT was also right about this. You see, ChatGPT perfectly understands the strategy just from the description he gave it. Now it's actually highlighting some possible movement that could happen in the market and some things you could look for to refine. Now, if you look through the whole of this place right now, there was actually no single error in our strategy. Our strategy was actually hits to the mark. Now, here's where exactly the problem actually lies, where you can make the improvement. Now, you see 30-minute execution checklist is sweep. Price weeks above this equal high cluster into the level pending. So basically, you can see here's how we are going to take the trade. Price will sweep the equal highs that will mark here as liquidity, which is this level here. The price will sweep it, and then we should lead the price to get it to our level. Now after that, rejection candle, a 30-minute candle closed 25% of its range back inside the range. So which basically means that there will be a 30-minute candle rejection. So the market will cap into the level, but then it will also automatically reject downwards, which will give us about 25% close of the actual candle size. Follow through next 30-minute breaks that candle's low, confirm order flow sheet. After that 30-minute candle form, the next one actually broke its low, which will confirm that okay, we are in a downtrend now, so we can sell. Now with displacement, stop loss 5 pips above supply high 1.780, which basically means that our stop loss need to be about 1.8 Let me confirm the figure. 1.8780. So instead of keeping our stop loss here, ChatGPT actually wants us to keep the stop loss around here for more safety. Now, ChatGPT wants us to keep it here for more safety. So guys, this is basically some basic things you can do with AI to help improve your strategy. Now, first TP, 1:3 risk to reward at 1.85 feels imbalanced. It's what I could be. With this strategy, the first take profit you look for is simply your 1:3. And you see that I did not state anything of such in this thing, but ChatGPT was able to understand and state it cleared out. For our first take profit should be at the 1:3 risk to reward level, which is at 1:85. See what I always tell you, once you know your strategy, you fix it up well, you will always know your way around. So 1:3, let's look for it. So here's a 1:3. Go to ChatGPT. Here is the most surest take profit position that we can actually have at a 1:3. After this, then we can go for a 1:6, which is exactly at this current low. Now you see basically, now this would versus a 1:6 risk to reward. They say in price dive straight down without piling supply, stand aside your edge is the mitigation and sweep. So they say if price dives straight down without target supply, stand aside your edge is the mitigation and sweep. So basically, if the price hasn't touched that level, it's just basically normal market sweep. So we just have to stay back and then let the market do these things. Now, here's how to narrate this for students or followers. So basically, I'm not here to do this, but let me just give you a breakdown of how ChatGPT want me to narrate it. It can be on your screen right now. Say, 4 hours sets the story, point out the market shift and break of structure tags, why they prove bearish control, liquidity before entry, show the equal highs and explain inducement. Now, personally, when I'm trading, I have no business with inducement. I also mark my liquidity because I hate complicated terms. Next, obviously, wait for weakness. Zoom to 30 minutes, describing confirmation candles. Now, the confirmation candle is simply wait for the market to tap there and then gives you a bearish close, which means it's time to sell. Now, if you need extra confirmation, you basically wait for the market to break down low that it creates freshly, and then you can also go in as well. Now, protest capital demonstrates stop loss placement just beyond the supply week, meaning your stop loss need to be above that particular level, which is some pips away from the candle that will actually use to identify the level. Now, trade the imbalance to fresh demand, walk through partials at 1:3 and full at unmitigated demand. Use this flow and the market weakness to maintain discipline. No 30-minute rejection, no trick. Basically, this simple and straightforward. Like we can see how I actually started to be able to break down my strategy. Now, you can see that from all of this information here, charging did not see any weakness in my strategy. It just stated exactly how the market is going to play. Now, you see this case where the weakness lies. It did not show any single thing. It just basically broke down the strategy, show what will mark out the strategy, what would actually lead to this trade to actually execute, and what will actually lead it to take profit. Now, in a situation whereby you did not see any of these things in the market, then you don't have to take the trade. So guys, this is basically how you can actually use AI to improve your strategy. Now, if there was a problem in your strategy before, the AI will actually prove it to you. So basically, according to ChatGPT here, the only thing that could make this setup fail is when you take this trade without a 30-minute rejection. So if there's a 30-minute rejection, then the trade will not fail. But if there's 30-minute rejection, then the trade high have chance of failing. Now, in order to get more information regarding this, you can basically tell ChatGPT to pull up some evidence from the internet from people who use this strategy. So now with this strategy, is actually going to look through the internet. Mostly since it says social media, you're going to look through social media and try to give you exactly information you need to. Reddit real traders on supply and demand liquidity. The best strategy I found, just 3 things: price action, market structure, trend, and liquidity. That is it. Warning best of supply and demand is fine, but liquidity areas are a poorly defined concept. If anything, it's just another pattern. Okay, they say a reminder: supply demand setups are probabilistic. Their framework, not guaranteed, which remains essential. It's normal. Every single trade setup is a probability game. You just have to make sure it goes in your way. Now, liquidity can be found above highs and lows. Prices always reaching for liquidity. On confirming entries, in short, draw your supply demand levels and only take a trade around them so your risk is low. Always think about risks, number one thing. Now you see that I'm not the only one trading this strategy. There are so many people trading this strategy out there, and you can see their own thoughts about this strategy that it put out from Reddit. And one reason why I'm actually going to take this really into account is the fact that it pulled it from Reddit and not Twitter. Because there are so many noisemakers out there on Twitter with no real evidence. But on Reddit, come on, you don't go to Reddit to fool. If not, you are going to get cooked on there. So for those of you who use Reddit, you know what I'm referring to by being cooked on there is more brutal as compared to Twitter, which is now known as X. So guys, this basically how guys AI to analyze your trading strategy and then see what and what could make that trade play out and what could lead you to fail. And ask yourself if you've been doing these things before. Like basically for me, there are so many situations whereby I've done things of this sort whereby I take trade without waiting for the actual confirmation and I ended up hitting SL over and over again. Now, the only way I was able to stop this was the fact that I've done so many research regarding this strategy, and I see that what not waiting for my actual confirmation is the main problem I am having, and not that I had a bad strategy. According to ChatGPT, no 30-minute rejection, no trade. Now, this is one thing you need to look out for out there. So basically, in this market right now, if I don't get a 30-minute confirmation, no trade. Even over here, if this market doesn't trigger here, give my 30-minute rejection, no trade. As so you can see, I use same strategy across everywhere. Now, if you look at this panel setup here, we all can clearly see that what there's a fair value gap sitting all free here. You can see there's a big fair value gap here, which your market actually need to sweep. And you can see that what the market is almost done sweeping at the fair value gap. And by the time it's done, it will mitigate our level. And we are just good to go. So guys, this is basically how you can use AI to improve your own trading strategy. Like personally, I was also surprised AI was able to help me identify my weakness and also give me some reasons to actually improve on it. And as a trader, I think you should also try this as well. It doesn't cost anything. It only helps you become a better version of yourself as a trader. So guys, if I this video, could about to smash that subscribe button. And if you're looking for the most reliable trading platform, which is the best broker out there, I always recommend Like Finance Broker. The link will be down in this video description and also in the comment section. I personally use them because, come on, they are just one of the best. No much information needed. Apart from that, also, if you are someone who trade Propfirm, I look for a reliable Propfirm to trade. As you all know on this channel, Blueberry is my favorite that I visit PR from multiple times, and you can also give them a try.